knows what this is.
Good people.
It's been a couple weeks since this whole episode with Buzz Aldrin making faces while Donald Trump is speaking about going into space exploration, so-called space exploration. Space does not exist. As far as deep space is concerned, all we have is inner space. Okay, let's take a look at some of these images here. This one photo with Buzz Aldrin. Obviously, you know, if you're awake, you know this is nothing more than basically an SNL skit. You know, Buzz Aldrin is nothing more than an actor. He's never been in space, never been to the moon. No astronaut, no cosmonaut has been in so-called deep space. Let's take a look here at the actual video itself. And again, it's nothing more than created drama on their side. Let's take a look at the clip.
Strongly about it for a long time. I used to say, before doing what I did, I used to say, what happened? Why aren't we moving forward? Today's announcement sends a clear signal to the world that we are restoring America's proud legacy of leadership in space. At some point in the future, we're going to look back and say, how did we do it without space?
That's just an Easter egg right there. Donald Trump just mocking. Again, there is no deep space. They've never been in space with all these so-called astronauts. Again, nothing more than Freemason actors. That's all they are.
The Vice President will serve as the Council's chair. I want to be some of the most successful people in the world. Want to be on this board.
Let's take a look at this. Again, the expressions. He's overdoing it. Nothing more than a poor actor. That's all Buzz Aldrin is. Oh, this is nothing more than theatrics, drama, for the drones of this world to get all excited about when it's nothing more than, again, theater. Nothing more than a fake beef. Just take a look here, Donald Trump, during the recap of the GOP debate with Sean Hannity, and you clearly see the Masonic handshake, okay? Now take a look here, going back in time with Buzz Aldrin, and you see where it says Supreme Council of the 33rd Southern Jurisdiction, USA. Okay, take a look here, some more evidence. Buzz Aldrin being nothing more than a Mason. Of course, with this postcard, the Masonic square and the compass. And this is more recent. Just take a look here, doing the 666 within the eyes. Of course, wearing the two watches. I've covered this before in previous videos. With this clear image, you can see Buzz Aldrin wearing the two watches here. And of course, the very infamous Masonic pose holding the glasses as an illuminated. And you see here Donald Trump as well doing the dual 666 hand sign and the orange face. Compare the hands to the face. Purposely wears this orange tint of makeup because orange, of course, in numerology is being 33 as well. Coded, as always, every little detail they do. Now, before moving on to the flat earth topic, let's play this clip once again with Donald Trump giving a little Easter egg talking about doing it without space.
At some point in the future, we're going to look back and say, how did we do it without space?
Yeah, there you go. Look at that face, that goofy face Buzz Aldrin, the old buzzard, is making. Now, take a listen here to what this NASA employee says about being in space.
I like to be in space. Well, it's a lot like being in the pool here. The only difference is when you turn upside down in the pool, you feel upside down. When you turn upside down in space, you don't. There is no upside down, so you don't feel that, have that sensation of blood rushing to your head, and you can't beat the view.
Now, you just heard that NASA employee say there's no upside down in space. Let's take a look here at Scott Kelly, the supposed astronaut, and Russian cosmonaut Mikhail Kornienko. Let's take a look here. Of course, this is just a regular pose, supposedly on Earth, compared to supposedly aboard ISS. Take a look at their faces here. I mean, look how beat red it is, and why is this? Okay, this is because they're hanging upside down by harnesses, okay? They're just faking space because they can't go into space. There is no deep space. You have sellouts like this guy here, and there's many people willing to sell their souls for a few bucks to be in this exclusive club with these Masons, basically deceiving the world when it comes down to it. Here's a little close-up of Scott Kelly and Kornienko once again. And one thing I should mention, they don't always use these harnesses and hang people upside down. They use different techniques. But this is one of several techniques they use when they're basically static, stationary, and doing these interviews. They hang them upside down. They also have other technology where they're actually moving around. They're using CGI, basically smoke and mirrors. Now, getting back The whole concept, again, like I showed with Buzz Aldrin being a Mason. Okay, as you see here in this old postcard. Now, the world being nothing more than a stage, and the fake beef going back in time with the so-called Cold War with Russia and the U.S., and it was nothing more than a fake beef. Just like I showed earlier with Trump and Buzz Aldrin. Same exact thing. Okay, now let's take a look here at this one photo with another so-called Russian cosmonaut with Alexei Ovchinin, and you see the little owl. Okay, this is supposedly his daughter's owl. He's supposedly bringing into outer space. Okay, this is another little Easter egg as a form of mockery. All has to do, of course, with Freemasonry and the Bohemian Club. So this is again another example of how they love to put their Easter eggs in plain sight. Now, getting on the topic of the flat Earth and the firmament. Now, many people will agree that NASA, Russia, and all these foreign space agencies are nothing more than nonsense. It's nothing more than deception. But they can't go down the path of truth, which is too far for them to go, which is the reality. We live on a flat Earth with a firmament. When you're in a cruise ship, you're not going around a ball, okay? You're not upside down or going sideways on the so-called ball Earth, which is nothing more than CGI, by the way. And NASA does not deny this whatsoever. Now, just imagine some of these huge cargo ships, such as this one here, on the side or the bottom, towards the bottom of the ball Earth, cruising around. Completely ridiculous. How people have bought into this lie. How gravity is strong enough to hold down this ship going around or towards the bottom of the ball Earth. But somehow airplanes can take off, birds, bees can fly around and not be pulled down by so-called gravity, which is only a theory. I guess gravity is selective. Again, it's completely ridiculous to believe these ships, these huge ships, can sail on the side and towards the bottom of the ball Earth. All that's happening is, for example, when you're in Antarctica, as you see here with this one ship, and this one here as well, you're basically at the edge of the world. Just like the movie title, Antarctic Edge. Okay, they put the truth in plain sight, and people cannot read between the lines. So basically what it all comes down to are these ships, they don't go around the so-called ball Earth. Wherever you travel south on the flat Earth, you're going to hit the ice wall. It's that simple. And the sun and the moon revolve around the flat Earth, and this is perfectly shapes the ice wall, the ice ring on the flat Earth. Now let's take a look here as well. Getting back to the whole so-called space travel with this so-called space shuttle launch, and you see this huge arc. And of course, people are told, oh, it's basically going to low Earth orbit, circling around the so-called ball Earth before it makes its way into space. Completely ridiculous, when the reality is this: it cannot get past the firmament. So this is what happens. These so-called space shuttles are nothing more than expensive fireworks, just launch and crash into the ocean. That simple. Now, going back in time, talking about the firmament, which I'll get into, and I'll show some video clips that I played before with former Nazi and NASA head Werner von Braun and his gravestone. And here it is, basically the Bible verse from Psalms 19:1, where it talks about God's firmament. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. And the firmament, to be perfectly clear, this is a biblical reference, of course, with the Bible verse. And what the firmament is, in biblical cosmology, the firmament is the structure above the atmosphere, conceived as a vast solid dome. So again, there is no deep space. All we have is inner space, just like the movie title. And getting back to Donald Trump and his Easter egg, basically stating in plain sight that there is no deep space.
At some point in the future, we're going to look back and say, how did we do it without space?
Space, the final frontier.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
My question is, through your career and your writing and your acting, you've inspired so many people to enter the sciences. How do you balance science with science fiction?
They're both the same. The mystery of science fiction is what I'm talking about. Science and science fiction are essentially the same.
Now boys and girls. Who knows what this is?
Good people.
Very good, Bart.
A fraud. F.
But it's all true.
Ugh, this is nothing but dead
What?
white male
The Earth
bashing
is
from a
flat.
PC thug.
Shaq, what are you talking about?
The Earth is flat.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's
yes,
not.
it is.
No,
listen.
It's not.
There's 3 ways to manipulate the mind: what you read, what you see, and what you hear.